keep it in this mode only. History of presenting illness, he was 24-year-old, no comorbs. He had left nasal discharge. A history of presenting illness, his patient was apparently normal 2 years back and he developed nasal discharge, which was incidence onset. It's gradually progressive. The discharge was required inconsistency. It aggravated on exposure to cold climate and consuming refrigerated food. The discharge is not relieved on taking medication, but relieved on sleeping on same side, associated with episodic sneezing. Patient doesn't have history of fever, weight loss, anorexia, or history of any tumor in the past. He doesn't have breathing difficulty or snoring while sleeping. Past history is not giving any history significant of hypertension, diabetes, TB, COPD, bronchial asthma, and not a known case of any bleeding disorder, and no history of allergy to any specific drug or food. Personal history, no significant personal history. His bowel bladder habits are normal. The sleep is disturbed due to the nasal obstructions occasionally. Diet and appetite are normal. Drug history, he's a history of use of oral antihistaminics present on and off. Now, there's no history of use of nasal steroids or nasal decongestants. No history of use of anticoagulants or antiplatelets drugs. So on a history, if we see this is a patient, young patient, 24-year-old, coming with a nasal discharge. That's the only complaint, which has not been relieved with the medicines, that is oral histaminic. He has no comorbidity, doesn't have any comorbidities. He gives history of sleep deprivation because of the nasal obstruction, but he doesn't give history of obstructive sleep apnea or snoring. So, and he doesn't seem to have any major comorbidities like hypertension or diabetes. So let's go to examination now. In general examination, his build and nourishment is moderately built, and his BMI is 24, so is not obese patient. No pallor, cyanosis, ictus, clubbing, and edema. His BP is 136/82. Pulse rate is 86 per minute. Respiratory rate is 16 breaths per minute, regular. On-air saturation is 98% and temperature is afebrile. Airway assessment, nose examination, no visible external deformity seen. Bilateral nose is patently checked with a spatula test. No swelling or bleeding is visible from the nose. MPC grade 2, mouth opening 3 fingers. Chiromental distance is 6 centimeters. Sternomental distance is 12 centimeters. And neck movements normal in all the direction and no loose teeth. So, like anatomically difficult airway is not there. On systemic examination, cardiovascular system seems to be no abnormality detected. Auscultation also S1, S2 heard. There are no murmurs. Respiratory system, respiratory rate is 16 breaths per minute. It's abdominothoracic, trachea central, chest wall movement bilaterally equal, breath sound bilaterally vesicular, no added sounds, and no signs of any respiratory distress. Gastrointestinal system, no visible distension, scars, swelling, soft, non-tender abdomen, no palpable mass, no organomegaly, bowel sounds are normal. Central nervous system is conscious, oriented in time, space, and person. No signs of focal neurological deficit. GCS is 15/15 and higher mental functions are intact. So that was examination. So from a history and examination, he seems to be a young, moderately built, nourished patient. No comorbidities, coming with a complaint of nasal discharge. And he is difficult because his lifestyle is maybe affected because he's sleep deprived because of nasal obstruction, and he's come for a surgery. So let's now see what investigations are there. Its hemoglobin is 11.2, total count of 6,200, platelets are normal, blood group A negative, AB negative, RBS normal, TT, APTT, INR all are within normal limit. Triple H is negative, electrolytes are normal, creat is normal 1.1, and left is normal. X-ray and ECG also no abnormality detected. This CT scan of PNS, so soft tissue density lesion, suggestive of polyp, found in maxillary, sphenoid, and ethmoid sinus, with obstruction of osteomeatrial complex noted on the left side. Asymmetry of nasal septum deviated to the right with this shape of deformity, with a bony spur projecting to the left side. So that's the CTPNS finding. So on this examination and history and investigation, he's a 24-year-old moderately built and nourished patient with a history of chronic nasal discharge, obstruction with no comorbidities, with no significant drug history, suggestive of chronic rhinosinusitis, sinonasal polyp. Now he's coming for some rhinological surgery, and most commonly for all these patients or the nowadays or the mostly done is a endoscopic surgery, that is functional endoscopic sinus surgery, that is FESS. So now this patient is posted for FESS. Suppose as we go back to the first slide, that is the history, what are the important things we should ask in history? Like his present illness or present complaints, you have to ask. Obviously, he has nasal discharge, so we should ask whether it's a purulent discharge or when it gets aggravated. And the negative history is very important, where we rule out whether the discharge is not associated with fever, so there is no infection, or is there any tumor in the nose, or the most commonly are like in younger age group we get juvenile angiofibromas, nasopharyngeal fibromas, which are very prone for bleeding, or it's a mucormycosis. Now in COVID we have seen many patients post steroid therapy, they have come with diabetes and mucormycosis. And as an anesthetist, we should rule out whether any kind of obstruction or any discharge, if ever is there, patient is having breathing difficulty or not, whether he is able to lie supine. These all will indicate or detect that he had some kind of nasal obstruction. Also, the history of snoring while sleeping. Snoring is a good history. When it has been seen that somebody observed him, that patient is snoring, that means we should rule out any history of obstructive sleep apnea. Now, suppose if the patient looks obese to you, if very, very much obese, and he's giving history of this, what you call snoring, then we have to do the stop band questionnaire that will come to it, which is in obese patients. So that is a detailed history of present illness. Now, this patient, young patient coming for FESS surgery, what all past history is important is like any comorbidities. First of all, this is an endoscopic surgery, and the surgeon will put the endoscope in a small area of nose, and if that area is flooded with blood, then the surgeon might not be able to operate, might damage the structures. So bloodless fluid is which is required in this surgery, and that's why we have to keep the blood pressure of patient to lower side. That means it's a control hypertension, where we have to balance the cerebral perfusion and the BP. BP should be at least, we keep it at 60 65 mg. So the patient is hypertensive, he's on any medications, then he should take those medications. If he is like not taking his medications regularly or like antihypertensive, then we should rule out that. The other medical like comorbidity like diabetes. Now diabetes, as we said, diabetes then leading to mucormycosis, or the sugar should be controlled, otherwise risk of infection that should be ruled out. Cox patients, COPD, bronchial asthma, all these respiratory cases, FESS surgery, you know that this is an airway surgery, which is, there is a lot of sharing of airway, because the surgeon is also at the our area, that is airway, and these patients are, because of this chronic sinusitis and all, these could be allergic sinusitis, hypersensitive airways might be there, and with COPD and bronchial asthma, again there will be aggravation. Patient can have spasm and difficult extubation, so we have to rule out all these comorbidities. Next is bleeding disorder. Obviously, if the patient, you want bloodless filled and there should be bleeding should be controlled, then the ruling out all these bleeding disorders, and if patient is taking any anticoagulant, has to be ruled out. So personal history and drug history is very important, because if the patient has taken antihistaminics, on and off, and it's not been controlled. This chronic sinusitis, you can